Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles, back again for another review. This time it's the Inflames Toys cross Newsoul Toys, Journey to the West, Tang Sanzang, and Bailong Ma, the Tripitaka Monk and White Dragon Horse 1/6 scale figures. And as you can see, this set is the deluxe version with a heap of accessories and diorama piece. And so I will probably be doing this as a two-part review. Starting with the Bailong Ma, the White Dragon Horse. They do come, or you have to order this as a set essentially, but they do come in two separate boxes, and I'll go through that shortly. So I'll set it all up to go through the horse first, and part two will be Tang Sanzang and the diorama pieces and most of the accessories. So I'll set it all up and get back to you guys soon. Hold on. Alright, just a quick look at the gorgeous packaging. It's in the usual style from Inflames Toys for this Journey to the West line, with the Chinese characters that you see there for Bailong Ma, so for the White Dragon Horse. And there's the, I guess, the concept art at the front, and it does translate beautifully to the figure itself, which you see on the rear of the box. And all the details, I'll give you guys a closer look, of course, but it is probably one of the most intricate and detailed 1/6 scale items that I have in my collection. When you get it out, there is a sticker warning on the packaging to just be careful of the horse mouthpiece here, which is sort of glued on, I think, and it is a bit delicate there, so just be careful as you take it out of the foam. The foam is the same sort of foam that you'll see in the Hot Toys DX figures, so if you're familiar with those, you'll know what to expect from that. And it does look very nice, packaged up, and there is a heap of plastic protection around the saddle and so on here, and all of these gold pieces around the body and so on are all covered by plastic. Some of them have even little Ziploc bags on them, so it is a bit delicate to take that all off. But if you be patient and get it all off, it does look fantastic when you take it all off and have it on display. And so I'll just get this box out of the way and bring the horse up for a closer look. Hold on. Alright, so here is the horse out of the packaging, and the overall detail is absolutely sensational. So you get all of these gold pieces. I think they're all plastic, but I think the rings and so on are all metal. And so you get 1, 2, 3 on the head, and then you get 3 up the front on the shoulders there, and then 3 on the rear. So you get that on both sides, of course. So that looks fantastic, and I love the way they've attached it to this sort of sash that goes all the way from the back under the saddle to the front as well. So I'm not quite sure if they're sewn on or just glued on, but the detailing in the sash itself is pretty damn nice as well. So I love the patterning there, and all of these chains here are, I think, are metal chains as well. So the detailing on that is pretty damn amazing, and I love the way it comes down to the front to this little I don't know, tassel type thing here, that you can sort of water down a little bit, because it does look a bit fluffy out of the packaging. I guess you get these little ropes and tassels or so on at the rear here, which also look nicely done. I think these at the front, I think these silver bits, I'm not sure if they're metal or not, but there is a bit of weight to them, and they do look pretty nice. I'm not sure what these footstools are called for on a horse. I can't actually remember. The only other thing I've got that's similar to these is the Tauntaun from Sideshow. But the detailing on that as well is pretty damn awesome in the sculpting, and the leather look of that strap there is nicely done. All of this coating thing at the underneath the saddle there is nicely done with fabric. I think there might even be no, there's no wire or anything under there, but just the intricate sort of patterning, tailoring on that is just incredible. There is a strap that runs underneath the belly of the horse to keep it all in place, and I'm not sure if it's actually glued on or if it's just very tightly sort of placed together or clipped together, but I'm not going to be too forcefully trying to move that around. This whole saddle piece doesn't seem to move too much at all, so I'm not sure if that's glued in place at the top of the horse there or not. But again, the detailing and patterning on that is just incredible. So I love how you can sort of see everything sort of going in underneath. It all connects up to the front there, along the sash here. So overall, I can't complain about the sculpting at all. The horse itself, the body of the horse is this, it's almost like a soft rubber type material. The instruction manual does give a few warnings about it. So you'll see all the little circles here are pretty much the points of articulation, and they do have a warning to say, you know, you wouldn't leave it in a 90-degree bend for an extended period of time, as it might sort of leave creases and so on in the body. And they do then say, if you use a hairdryer, you may be able to gently blow those wrinkles out. So similar to some of the Hot Toys sort of rubberized bodies, I wouldn't try and go too dynamic with the posing. But as you can see, the front legs can articulate out. You can get bends in all of these areas of the legs, and as you can see, they're fully enclosed rubber legs, so there are no visible joints or anything like that. I think some of the previous horses from the likes of Asmus Toys, etc., all have visible joints, but these are all enclosed within this sort of rubberized, soft rubberized body. So just be careful on how you articulate and leave it on display. I might have it in a sort of a walking pose, but not bent to any great degree, so at least it'll have that sort of longevity. And I will show you guys a bit of the articulation in a second on just some of these joints. The head is on, there are various ball joints in the head there, so you can move it side to side and rotate it around and so on. So there is I guess a bit of a visible seam along here, but depending on how you rotate the head on display, it's covered up fairly well with all of the little trinkets and so on. The hair, it comes out of the packaging swept to one side, so I'll just try and futz that in a second on splitting it evenly. And there's this little tuft of hair at the front there that you can sort of also futz as well. So it's got some nicely rooted hair in there along the mane there, and then also on the tail as well. So you just need a bit of water treatment just to control it a little bit. It does all come packaged in plastic, so just be careful when you sort of take off the tape of all that, just so you don't rip any of the hairs out or anything like that. The body itself of the horse, you can sort of see the nice sort of texturing in the fur, and it's just really painted and sculpted nicely. There is a bit of slight dark wash just to accentuate some of the musculature, and overall it just looks incredible on display. What else can I say? Even the paint application on the head, I do love the eyes as well. I'm not sure if it's really coming out on camera, but the eyes are a nice sort of glossy finish to give it that almost creepy realism for the horse. And I love the sort of dark wash on the mouth and so on. As I was saying before, it's this these little clip areas at the front here that there is a warning on the plastic cover of the box, just to be careful of these as you're removing them from the packaging. As I think there's no sort of pin through the mouth there. I think it's just glued on, so just be gentle with that area there. But these straps, the sort of fake leather straps along there, look nicely done, similar in material to this. And this sort of tassel or Chinese printed sort of patterning is just awesome, as I was saying before. So overall, this horse is simply amazing. And as you can see, just standing on its own there, no problems with balance, although there is a hole at the front there underneath the belly, so the instructions sort of tell you you can use the base that came with Tang San Zhang, and use the sort of, it comes with, or the horse actually comes with 2 clear posts. So the straight one just for its standing there, and this sort of higher bent one that you can use if you want to have it displayed in a sort of on hind legs type pose. I definitely won't be going with something like that, just purely for space purposes. I'm not even sure if I can fit the monk on top riding the horse on display. I'll probably have to have him standing on the ground with the other three disciples. So I'll just pause for a second and give you guys a quick look at the articulation. Hold on. Alright, so for the articulation, you probably just need to be a bit careful on where you place your hands, but fortunately pretty much most of the joints are on quite tight ratchets. So I'll just start with the head. So of course the front of the head is on a ball joint, so you can get quite a decent range of motion up and down like so, and side to side. And then on the neck here there is a number of joints, so you can sort of try and rotate it so you can hear that's a big ball joint in there, I think. So you can sort of rotate, and the musculature on the body will stretch and crumple quite naturally on the neck there. So there's that. And then on the lower legs here, I'll just turn him around. These legs, because this whole section at the front here is sort of this softer rubberized material, you can lift the leg up like so. I think you can get it almost to a straight across, but I probably won't stretch that too far. So you can see how that sort of bends in there, and then you can bring it down. And then these joints in the, I guess, the knee and the ankle are on quite tight ratchets. So I'll just see if I can do that with one hand here, so you can hear the ratchets going there, and you can see how the rubber bends along here. So you can sort of futz around with it and get a somewhat natural pose out of it, and then just ratchet them back like so. And then you can, these ones at the ankles are quite tight, so I'm not going to try and do that, but you just need to get some brace it with your one hand there, and just try and find that joint in that ankle, and then you can sort of get a couple of kinks out of that ankle there, and then just pose it standing up like so. And the same for the rear. So the rear has some joints at the back here. If I can get that to click, so you can hear that clicking, and then you can bend it from these points on that ratchet there, so you can get some fairly natural poses out of it, depending on what sort of stance you want the horse in. But in most stances it does stand pretty stably on the ground, so can't complain too much about that at all. So just follow the instructions fairly carefully on how far you can bend, and so on, and probably just for safety maybe just use that base on there. But that is pretty much it for the Bailungma, the white dragon horse here. I will be doing part 2 of the review as soon as I can, straight after this, for the Tangsanzang monk, and give you guys a closer look at all of the Journey to the West gang together, which does look pretty damn fantastic once they're all set up. So hopefully you can subscribe and stick around for that. Definitely, if you're a fan of Chinese mythology and so on, I think this is probably the best 1/6 scale horse pretty much ever made, to be honest. I think Inflames has also teased some other figures from another Chinese story that I'm not quite familiar with. I can't remember, it's something about 3 kingdoms and so on, but the horses and the details in those figures look absolutely sensational as well. So I think Inflames are really taking the quality of these figures to another level, and I am definitely glad I've got this Journey to the West series pretty much done now. So hopefully you like that quick look, and can subscribe and stay tuned for part 2 with the Tripitaka monk coming up next. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.